4 lights on the board, and for the final time, we go racing! It's the Italian Grand Prix! Park already leading us off, snaking through, not wanting to allow Andy Park. Watch the 3 wide in the back. Christian desperately needing to go through, and you see Regan getting sucked through on the inside. You see Curva Grande already in the lead. Oh, there's trouble. Who is that? That's Regan. Regan's off the circuit. Regan's out already as they head into the first chicane. Another driver off through there. Christian trying to survive. Oh, it's that Tim. Tim is off. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Tim Stahl out of the contention so far. It's Christian Ramel who's in 3rd in the championship. He is now P2. He is now leading the championship. Are you kidding me? What a start to the Italian Grand Prix finale. Curva Grande now. Against, he's absolutely sideswiped Van Dorn! He sideswiped Van Dorn! Oh, wow! So Van Dorn has entered back. Oh, it's absolutely carnage here, trying to rejoin. And honestly, slowed himself down, trying to go through. But there you see, through the chicane, they all single file. Casper just squeezing up Martin Munzer getting a little bit of a tap of the rear end from Mike Van Dorn. And you see it's getting pretty intense through the mid-pack here. This is what we're talking about. We told all the drivers, I know basically nobody here has been with us since 2023, but you gotta trust the process here. And you gotta allow this championship fight and this track to seal the deal for us here. Look at DeVille Park here. Could be on the inside of Ilham. Ilham just not having the best of luck in the last round. What can he do? And DeVille putting all sorts of pressure. Meanwhile, Christian trying to stay within that second of Andy Park, not trying to lose him. He wants to score maximum points. Ilham to the inside. And he's got that move stuck, trying to hold on. DeVille is going to try to keep holding it on, but when you have the slipstream to go, you can just put it right around the outside. Now the inside, and he's going to be able to go drag racing down to turn 1. Did we know what happened at the start with Tim Stahl and Regan Milana? I have a feeling I saw Regan in the gravel early on. Was it kind of like what happened with Mike Van Dorn and Peter Sabo just a lap ago? I'm not too sure, but here we go. Curva Grande, this is a classic Alonso Vettel kind of battle here. Hard on the braking, and look at that. Closing the door, the Jamaican DeVille Park. Getting that move done, he's up to 4th. And now Park in the Mercedes, looking for a move, looking for the rear cam. And to the inside, potentially, you see Mike defending hard, but is it going to matter? Oh, side by side, door is shut, even pushed off wide. Mike Van Dorn is off the circuit, and now, as I head into the first Lesmo, Van Dorn will nudge his way back up, but it's a little too deep, going off the circuit, almost trying to defend. Park does not go for the move onto the second Lesmo, hitting the curb a little harder. Park has a better chance up to this section here. And looking to the inside, door is wide open as they head into Ascari. And what can Mike do? Opening up the corner, side by side, trying to hold on. Mike is going to continue to hold on. He's in the curb, and he cannot hold on to Andy Park. Andy has shuffled up to 3rd position. What a move there against the Flying Dutchman. Does Tim just let Peter through? Is it defense now? It should be defense because Tim's going to need to climb back up, but Peter now entering the fray. He's got fresh tires, warm tires. I get some cold tires there. Oh, and Peter dips a tire into the gravel. So this is your battle for P4. And this one continues. Can Sabo spoil the party, try to get past the Mercedes up the road? And, oh, trouble! Oh, is that? That's not who I think it is! It is! Tim Stahl made a mistake! Was that the sausage curb? Was that the sausage curb that costed him?
And now just a little tap of the brakes, a little bit wide off of entry, but his exit is looking great. And now into the second lesmo section, just has to focus on the line ahead of him, and he does so, but a way better run from Tim. Heading into Ascari. Slipstream engaged here. Does he go for the move? And he looks for it. No, he doesn't, but he's very close. This time by. Heads into the curb. Exiting through it. Nose to tail. They go. And now Peter Sabot. Oh, he just cannot hold on to the car. And Tim Stahl enters the podium. But for how long? Parabolica to go. And Peter to the outside. Narrow line for Tim Stahl. They go side by side. A little contact is made. Peter does not want to let go of this fight for the podium, knowing that he has to get this one. Slipstream back on. Gaining. Slingshot. Gone to the inside as they head into Curva Grande. In the background, I think I also saw Mike Van Dorn. And was it Regan or was it just lap traffic? I'm not too sure. Peter to the outside now after holding the inside of Curva Grande into the braking zone now. Very tight. Little bit of contact again. But Tim, this time around, will hold on to P3. Andy Park, ladies and gentlemen, one of the newcomers in CMRSC. Very close at Indonesia, could not get it done, but this time around at Monza, Andy Park is your new CMRC race winner. He wins it. He wins his first race in Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. What a drive from him in P2. Christian Ramau did everything correct in the book, but the championship will just slip away from his hands. He'll still finish in P2, but for P3, Tim Stahl has done it. Our rookie has won the championship. Tim Stahl is champion of DTM. He is champion of the world. Peter Sabot will finish up P4. Looking down the rest of the order here, Mike Van Dorn will come around and he will finish P5. Because for Race of Champions 2025, it will now be the top who finish in the overall standings of the year, and that is going to mean every single point matters. We looked and we asked the question, who will be CMRC's next alien? And you're looking at him, Mike Van Dorn as champion of the world. Cody Lawrence comes across the line, is champion of the world. Van is champion of Porsche Super Cup. The championship goes to Peter Sabot in TCR. Mike Van Dorn is a 5-time champion of the world in Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. He takes victory. Even Asseir, it's a 3rd time the charm and a new champion. And now Cody Lawrence has swept the championship. You finished P2 back in Porsche Cup. You finished P2 back in TCR. You finished P2 back in the Endurance Championship in GTE. But right now, you can finally call yourself champion of the Caribbean here. Santos, you're champion. You got it done here today. A lot of emotions. Let's try to hold off on any language. But tell me, that's still gotta feel great at the end of it.
Give me something to believe in, fire in my heart. Take a chance now, hold your hand out, shot in the dark. I don't got the answers, all I know, you gotta burn it to the embers, just let go. Can you feel it, feel it? We've been waiting all of our lives. Can you feel it, feel it? Light it up and let it ignite. Can
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club, and it is time for the playoffs. It's Race of Champions. It's the final championship of 2025. The drivers are going to have 5 weeks in 5 different championships to all take on. We start off here at Zandvoort for the Dutch Grand Prix. And that is, of course, going to be in GT4. It's not following the traditional championship kind of style where the tracks that were featured are kind of somewhat put together. After all, we are in Zandvoort, nowhere near the Caribbean, but we wanted to give these guys a little bit more fun. So we are here live at the Netherlands for the Dutch Grand Prix. At this beautifully modded circuit here in Assetto Corsa. Brand new look to the stream, and we are just getting ready to go here for qualifying. Every round will consist of the same qualifying format of 15 minutes. So, brand new championship. What are we looking at here? We start off here today for GT4 racing at Zandvoort for the Dutch Grand Prix. Next week out, we head to Mexico for the very first time for Formula 3. You may remember earlier in the year, we raced Formula 1, and then we also raced earlier 2000s Grand Prix cars. Well, we've swapped up the format here again. Formula 3 racing for the very first time. We've done Formula 1, we've done Formula 4, never Formula 3. That's going to be at Mexico City at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez circuit. After that, we head on over the border to Canada for the Canadian Grand Prix at Mosport. And we're going to be racing in Porsche Super Cup. Cannot wait for it. And then we round it out. The penultimate round of the championship, the Bahrain Grand Prix, returning to the Bahrain circuit, but it's going to be a different track. It's going to be the Bahrain Outer, most famously known for the Formula 1 race back in 2020, where Checo Perez took victory, really sealing his deal and putting him back on the map at the time. And we rounded out with the famous one, Phillip Island GT3, the prelude for the GT World Challenge, powered by ACF. More information to come soon on that one, but with the checkered flag out here, we are just waiting for the beginning of qualifying. You're going to see all your drivers here today on your screen now. Daniel Santos, Andy Parks, Sven Versteeg, Eamon Espear, Peter Sabot, Christian Romao, Kasper Tezayaki, Mike Van Dorn, Ilham Lesmana, Regan Milana, Evan Steinberg, Renan Lima, Emilia Eduarda, Kiliver Torres, Danny Nasseir. And scrolling down here, it's a name, the first name you may not recognize, but back in 2022, she went by Sarah. The returning Sarah making massive headwaves in the CMRSC paddock. Can't wait for it. So, lots of returns, lots of newcomers here, but the playoffs begin now. Qualifying underway, the drivers hustle out of the pits to get ready for this hustle and bustle qualifying. Who's gonna take it? Who's gonna take pole position? Well, it's only a matter of time. Welcome out here. If you're just tuning in, it's the first round. It's the Dutch Grand Prix. Woo, woo, woo. You know it. Of course, I know it, and I know where you're coming from with that reference there. So, playoffs underway. There's 2 championships to look at here. And one of those main championships we'll get to in just a second. But qualifying underway. Qualifying underway here today for the Dutch Grand Prix. It's the first round of Race of Champions 25. We have 2 championships to go through here. The overall standings and the playoffs. The overall standings belonging to all the drivers that they are in it to win it, like every regular championship. But the playoffs are a different story. It only belongs to 6 members who have earned points all throughout the year. And they're looking to make glory to become the Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Champion of 2025. Those drivers include your man who finished first overall, Mike Van Doorn. Then it's Peter Sabot, Sven Versteeg, Daniel Santos, Eamon Nasseir, and Christian Ramau. All 6 drivers you're going to find here today. Chat's saying Peter for pole. Let's find out if that's actually going to happen. The first driver we have to watch out for is this man here, Evan Steinberg, who's had a really good outing back at the DTM World Championship. He wants to continue that momentum. Of course, he wasn't here at the Italian Grand Prix. Wasn't a championship contender, but was one of the big talking points throughout that one. You're also going to notice it's GT4, but you're only seeing one manufacturer. That is because in Race of Champions, CMRSC tradition, we only race the championship-winning car, and of course, this is Daniel Santos's Aston Martin Vantage GT4. So, you're also going to notice a brand new little layout here. It's kind of come to the conclusion here as a broadcaster and trying to give you guys the best experience that we can only see the top 10 best drivers and not the rest. So, you know, with the scrolling board, we can't really see all the overtakes that happen right away. We normally catch them through the best moments that we post out throughout the week. However, we want to change it up a little, and we want to bring back the leaderboard that we last left off back at Porsche Cup, GT3, and Formula 1 earlier on this year. So around the final corner on the high banks of Zandvoort, here comes Evan Steinberg, followed by Peter Sabot. I think that's Andy Park. It is. So coming across the line now, those first times going to come through, and it's Peter Sabot's almost taking it, but it's actually going to be Andy Park with the first flyer here with a 140.829. Santos is going to go P2 with a 148.62. And yeah, time's already getting close. This is going to be the best of the best. Andy Park is actually going to be one of those drivers who I really feel like in this championship, who's really going to be tussling with the playoff drivers. Such a quick driver, as well as Tim Stahl. I'm not too sure if he's going to be joining us here for today's round, but just another one of those drivers, very quick for this one. Here we see Kasper Tazayaki making his way through the circuit. It's more times are being laid out here. So far, Andy Park taking pole position. The bonus point only going to go for the overall championship, not the playoffs. So it'll be very interesting to see what goes on points-wise, because the points allocation is very, very tight for the playoffs. It only goes 12, 6, 3, 2, 1. I know, I think I got my math wrong. It's 12, 9, 6, 3, 2, 1. So that's the top 6 that's only going to be able to go for those points in the playoffs format. But the overall, it's relatively following the same format points-wise as the DTM World Championship. We're very happy with it, so we decided to bring it back. So rounding out the final breaking point here for Kasper Tazayaki as Andy Park goes quicker with a 146.45. Goes even faster that time. Sven crossing the line there. And Peter Sabot, they were all jostling for pole at the moment. Tazayaki will stay P8. And Sven, Andy Park, Peter Sabot, they're looking pretty quick out there. One really cool feature that we can showcase here. It is pretty funny when we have to kind of set this one up. But take a look at this. It's every driver that comes across the line next, and we can see their sector times. Now, the downside is that we can't see the sector time officially of the drivers that we look on board with. But this is actually a pretty cool thing that, looks pretty nice. We're going to use it from time to time here, so in qualifying sessions, but we hope you like it. Let us know your feedback if this is something you enjoy. We have 17 concurrent drivers on circuit. Van Doorn crossing the line there. No improvement from him. And we have Sarah, Ari, that she wants to be known as now, so we're going to make sure we keep that one correct there. But formerly known as Sarah back in 2022, left us for a good while and has now made a grand return doing her own thing. So very glad she's back. Very, very glad. And #1 fan of Andy Park. And speaking of Andy, just taking it straight to the pits. And look at that. See, Daniel Santos coming around here. Not the best first sector, but that second sector looking very good. Rounding out the final corner, racing to the start-finish line with 8 minutes left to go. He comes across from P4. He goes to P2, 147.28. And look how close that top 3 is, all under a 10th for pole position. Oh, it's getting pretty intense out here. Maybe let's turn up the volume here. There we go. Peter Sabot next to come across the line. Lesmond is actually ahead of him, P11. We'll see what he comes down to. Peter Sabot, of course, P2 and gaining some points on the board. Look at that. Love it. High line here. You only know this kind of stuff through NASCAR. You want to take the high line as you race up to the line. You want to get the longest amount of space possible before you race down. And let's keep with Sabot for a moment unless we see anybody going quicker. Let's look at a lap around here. So through turn 2 and then turn 3. High banks here. Want to stick to the high line as close as possible, powering down early on. And then exiting out. Flat out through this left-right complex. Keeping the foot down, but once you make that right hand, you complete it. You want to get to the far left-hand side of the circuit and get that turning early. You want to get the turn in as early as possible. The downhill just really gives you a lot of understeer throughout the circuit. And then as we flick it into the double right-hander over here, the first one, there's a large bump, but the second one, very smooth. You want to get the power down midway through the corner. You don't want to go too wide because you want to keep flowing it through the right-hand side, through to the left hand. Beautiful, just turning the car in as smooth as possible. Short straight here this time by, and then we get into a very technical section. That curb on the inside could really throw you off if you hit it the wrong way, and just a little kiss there Sabot is going to give it. And rounding out to the left-hander, now straightening out, racing to the line, 2 corners to go. And now, final corner, banking now. This time you want to stick close to the inside. Barely drift out wide, save yourself some time, and race to the line from P4, Peter Sabot. Is there any improvement? It's not, but Andy Park going faster this time by. Fastest in the first sector, purple, 26.3 in the middle, just seeing a car off the road there, but navigating through, no issue to Andy Park. You're going to see now those sector times come up on your screen here, and you see purple, is it going to be a third purple? Is it going to be an even faster time? It's a 1:46.45 for Andy Park. Can Andy go quicker? The narrowest line to the checkered flag. Is it quicker? It is. It's a 1:44.69. And Andy Park flying here at Zandvoort. Opening up, and that's a lot bigger. A lot bigger of a gap. I think I just saw for the moment Sven, purple in the middle and the final sector. But only enough for P2, 4 minutes, 25 seconds left to go here in qualifying. It's getting more and more tight here with those top drivers, the top 4 within a second. Within that 140 mark, I should say specifically. And then within a second, you got to look to the top 8. It's very competitive out here. Very competitive with these top drivers. No clue who's going to take the race win for today. That's the most exciting part, when you know it's not going to be a full blowout. When it's unpredictable, you got to look back at qualifying to the Las Vegas Grand Prix for Formula 1 just last night or yesterday. Yeah, unpredictable qualifying. Then again, that had to do with weather. But here in sim racing, with these guys so close on pace, wow, anything and everything could go down here. One driver who is struggling quite a bit here, Christian Romao, stuck in P7, not able to break into the 40s. Can that change this lap? Looking pretty positive in the first two sectors. Any solid running chance here to put yourself up, maybe in the top 5. That is a good place you want to aim for. Here we go. P7 to the line. And it's P5. So knocking down Eamon and Mike. Both drivers race at champions position. So far in this race at champions standings, it's Sven, Daniel, Peter. Well, actually, they're all together. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. And they're all being bested by a driver outside that race of champions spot. Now, that's not to say that that's a bad thing. That's just to say that if we had Andy Park sooner, more than likely could have been a competitor in this one. But it also shows you playoff driver-wise how close it is between them and why they earned and deserve this spot. Here comes Van Dorn, P7. It's tough out there trying to get a lap time. Especially the nature of this circuit. You make one mistake, that's it for you. You gotta just hang it up, try again, take it to the pits, new fuel, new tires, go at it once more. Interesting to note, Santos, that last lap, purple in the last sector. So, pretty good so far. Sven also had a solid lap that time he did put up on the board, and is just holding it in the pits. And I think his qualifying is going to be over and done with. Who else do we have here on who could be for a flyer? We'll stick with Santos. Purple in the middle sector. Half a tenth off pole position. This is probably your last gasp if this is your best opportunity here. Purple in the middle sector. Great first sector as well, staying positive, faster than his personal time. And it all comes down here. Final corner, banking, gonna get a lovely toe from Torres just ahead. And now here comes Santos, who knows this GT4 car better than everyone else here. Does he take pole? Yes, he does! He takes pole! 146.461. I think I just saw a car go off the circuit there for the moment. I'm not too sure what that was all about, but Santos putting his name on the map. P1 pole position. So now it comes down to this. 40 seconds left to go. A big scare from all the rest of the pack, especially if you're in that race of champion spot. Even though that pole position point won't go to the playoffs, it doesn't matter. That's your main man you're competing with. He's starting on top. And like we said, he knows these cars better than everyone else here. He won a championship, for God's sake. He knows how to operate this car. And he's put this one on top here, ladies and gentlemen. So we're looking at Andy Park. He's P2, and he's really pushing on hard here, looking for the lap to take back pole position to show these top guys what Andy Park is truly made of. He took his first race win in CMRSC last week at Monza. He wants to continue that momentum to show everyone it's not a fluke. Lots of traffic coming through here. Peter Sabot. Oh, he's actually backed off. I thought he was going to pass Peter. I think Peter was backing off to allow Andy Park to go through, but it's not going to matter. Andy's taking it to the pits. That's him done. We look at Christian Ramau next to come across the line, followed by Peter Sabot, but I don't think any of them are actually on a proper lap. We'll stick with them anyways. Let's forget that assumption for the moment. Racing to the line, is it just straight to the pits for Christian Ramau, or is it going to be straight to the line? No, it's to the pits, so I think, yes, they're both qualifying sessions done. Steinberg's not done, though. So Evan Steinberg currently sitting P12. You also have Eamon also looking for a lap time, and P16 of Danny Nasseir. Eamon finding improvement in the middle sector. We look here with Evan Steinberg. And can he break into the top 10 to the line now? And he doesn't. P11. So next to the line, P13 of Layla to the pits. Danny Nasseir is on this final lap here. I think he's going to be your last driver to come to the line unless qualifying is already done and he didn't make the time. Oh, it's not going to matter. I think he just lost the front end there. So that's qualifying complete. It's Daniel Santos with a big big pole position to take the top spot here, followed by Andy Park and Sven Versteeg. What a qualifying that was. All right, congratulations, your top three, Daniel, Andy, and Sven. That pole time there, 8/1000th of a second. That's a good lap there, Daniel. Nice one. All right, here we go. So racing about to get underway here today for the first round of the championship. If you're just tuning in, welcome here to Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. I'm your host or commentator, Rahul Nasseir, and we're getting ready for a stellar qualifying session. Complete racing about to get underway. 2 minutes left to go before we get this light underway here and racing. And we got our grid sorted. All right, so let's swap over to the main screen here. Let's take a look at what this grid's looking like. It's going to be Daniel Santos on the front row. Pole position for him. Great lap time. Then it's going to be Andy Park, coming from a maiden win, wants to continue this momentum out here. Sven, your next driver from the playoffs. He's starting P3, followed by Peter Sabot. Then it's going to be Eamon Espeir, Christian Ramau, Mike Van Dorn, Regan Milana, Ari, Casper, Evan, Ilham, Layla, Renan, Kilverth, Danny, and Amelie. Let's take a look at some of those liveries while we're at it. This is the last time we're going to see them for this championship. Maybe in the future when we have GT4 soon, who knows? EMY Creations. What else do we have around here? There we have the unsafety car. This is what Kilver calls it. The other EMY Creations here. Layla. Lovely car here. Same paint as Andy Park. Here's Ilham with the cats. Evan Steinberg, the Batmobile. Kasper Teziaki, very clean black, white, and red. Regan Milana, calling this one the ChatGPT, but I'd say it looks pretty awesome there. Lovely orange here for Mike Van Dorn. Christian Ramau also taking his old paint here from this from the last championship that we ran. Eamon Espeir, there you see, lovely paint there. Spirit Racing. Andy Park, same thing. Daniel Santos on pole with a lot more faces on me. Here we go. All right, let's get this championship underway here today, shall we? And the lights are on the board now. It's 5 lights and we go racing at Zandvoort. And it's a terrible start from Eamon in the background. We look to the front. It's Santos trying to cover off from Andy Park. And trying to go for the lead, cannot get it done. They shuffle through into turn 1. And as they go through, it's getting pretty packed. But it's Santos who holds on to the lead here. Followed by Park, trying to hustle through. Christian Ramau's been taken out. Was that contact between himself and Peter Sabot? I don't know, but how nobody was able to touch him, that is pure luck there. And they all start to really bunch up into this S section. You see Steinberg trying to find a bit of room as they all go 2 by 2 as we now look to the top here. Side by side, Kasper Teziaki trying to go to the inside, but I think they're all just smartening out and trying to just lay off here through this short section here. Somebody's off the track. It's Torres. So, a fantastic start for the most part. It's pretty clean out there. Santos, though, he's under big pressure here from Andy Park. Sven trying to keep up with this battle. You also see in the background Ari making some great positions at the start. P5 now, and Eamon trying to get through, but Regan Milana finding his way, trying to get back. To the right-hander, into the left-hander. Ooh, too much gravel there from Ari. It's gonna cause a bit of trouble here. Back up to the front. It's Santos. Still for the lead of this one. That top 3 already escaping the picture. Front straight, wide open. Nobody to touch him. But on the rear, it's going to be A lot of pressure. Andy Park to the outside. Watch Sven. He's going to be on the inside watching Andy. Does he try to go for a move? Not through Tarzan. Now through turn 2, now turn 3. Do they dive it down? No, they all consider that high line. Meanwhile, Eamon going for a lower line. Ari and Eamon earlier on this week arguing on what was the better line through there. They both had their differences. We're going to find out in racing conditions. Ari, who took the high line, is just about able to hold on. In the back, Steinberg, I think, is just going off. We'll watch him in a moment. But Steinberg, as he's falling down the order, we watch this one. Eamon looking for P5. His main goal, Eamon, is to try to get up to Mike Van Dorn to the pack. He sends it down the inside. Eamon Espeir, surprise dive. It's going to be the long way around. It's a bit of contact there for himself and Ari. And Ari's just going to hold on to the inside line. Riga Milana is going to watch this battle go through, pick his poison to see if he can go through, but he cannot on Eamon. They go back to single file between each other. And, oh, what's this? I think Mike Van Dorn just lost a bit of time there to the pack ahead. What a fight. This is turning out to be. This is a lovely race so far. It's a 45-minute race, just like with the GT4 Championship. So we've obviously gone down 15 minutes from DTM. Here we go. Big opportunity here as we watch Sven making a move on Andy Park. Andy, not the best of lines on the inside. I think Sven, can he do it on the outside there in the back? You also see Eamon and Ari, two huge battles looking for it. Sven's got the move done. Meanwhile, does Ari defend? No. Eamon, for the time being, taking a lower line, trying to go through, but look at the momentum from Ari, trying to get back on Eamon. It's just not possible this time. That's the move done. Eamon has gone up to P5. Great run. We also got to give kudos to Sven. That was a lovely move around the outside of turn 1. Now, Eamon's going to have a lot of pressure now if Ari's going to be able to get back through. Meanwhile, in the back, oh, it's Ilham. We also have Danny Nasseir also in the back. Hopefully they didn't tussle too hard. But so far, at the start of this one, the pack really keeping close with each other here in Race of Champions. Is that Sarah Racing? You are correct, Martin. That is the returning Sarah. She's going by the name Ari now, but the last name is identical, and we're very happy to see her. Returning since 2022. I know my OGs will especially know the name. And there you see her. Welcome back, first and foremost, and getting a taste of the brand new dynamic that is this CMRSC environment. And look at this, Christian Ramau having a bit of trouble trying to get through on Layla. Christian, I think honestly the big loser out the big six here for the playoffs, currently sitting in last. And looking to make some moves here, and he's under the slipstream of Layla. Does he pull a cheeky dive down to the inside? Looks at it, commits for it, sends it, but doesn't look like it's enough. Layla taking just that wide line. Actually, it looks like he was able to get through. Alongside Christian, however, I'll take it back. Christian Ramau gets the move done. He's up to 11th. And so we go back up to this fight here. Turning up the volume here for you. Is there anything that's gone down here? I know a couple of our boards are shifting here. One thing's for sure, Eamon starting to put the pressure down at the drivers ahead. And that man ahead that he needs to pass if he wants to get P3 in this playoffs. So far, it's Mike Van Dorn. Now think about Mike. Because he finished first overall, he's got max points heading in. So he's leading the championship in the playoffs with 6 points. So for him to be falling backwards like this, especially for Santos, who's, I believe, finished 4th, this is really going to shake it up early on in this one. So just losing touch of the leaders, and Mike, however, trying to work his way to increase this gap. Now, one thing we also have to let you know, as the pit window opens, we've returned back to the pit limiter. So the drivers are going to have to be very cautious as they enter the pits. On board with Andy Park. Trying to make sure the audio level is not too bad out here, giving you guys the best experience at home, worker, wherever you are around the world. We thank you for tuning in this week to Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. This is, of course, not just a single make championship. It's not your typical class of championship. It's not GT4 only, not GT3s. It's a whole different aspect here, as there's been a contact that was made between I think it was Dan and Nasseir and Ilham. Torres also, I think, just hit the wall somewhere off the circuit. Meanwhile, Peter Sabot trying to get the move on here. Riga Milana next up to overtake. And Peter trying to put some big pressure here. This is going to be the difference between a playoff driver and a regular driver here. And you're going to see the pace difference potentially, unless Regan's got his number. Meanwhile, Eamon closed up the gap. He's on now to Mike Van Doren. This is your battle for fourth now. So, how's this battle going to turn out? Nose to tail, 2 corners, a little touch on the grass. That's a mistake from Eamon Esmir. That's going to lose him a heap of momentum. Ari now is going to try to go around the outside, it looks to be. Proper slipstream door is slowly being shut. There's no space there, so you've got to swap to the inside. Eamon's not going to make it easy. The send is there for Ari. Question is, do you fully commit it? Does so. Side by side into turn 1. Eamon relegated down another position to 6th. But for how long? A bit of a squeeze from Ari. Respectful racing. Ari's going to take that high line. I knew Eamon was going to take that low line. Is it going to help him in the long run? Not quite. Just losing a bit of time. Ari back up to 5th. A mistake there, following a bit too close from Mike. And just touching the gravel. And it's bite him hard. So, down the order. But there's your race leader, Daniel Santos, doing an amazing job to hold off to this lead, followed by Sven, and then it's Andy Park. Sven and Daniel, 2 drivers who early on now with the points already allocated. They want to get the move on and try to get some big points on the board in their personal standings. Meanwhile, I think another pack we're watching here is Layla enters the pits. Both Torres and Eduarda fighting pretty hard with each other. Not giving him too much love here, but we will now. Look at the battle that they're having. Even though it's last, they're still having some fun. And look at them racing pretty hard. Does Emilio go down the inside here? Yes. Gets the move done. P15, Torres relegated. Just Torres put it back on the inside. Oh, a little too much on the inside. Touches the grass. Loses a lot of time there. Back to this fight here. And Mike Van Doren has he gone backwards because Ari's on the outside. Eamon, don't do it. Is he going to make it 3 wide? Descended on the inside. I thought he was. He backs out and now takes the move here. It is going to still be 3 wide. It's still 3 wide here. It's very tight. Eamon's a little bit of a hip check there on the outside. A little contact there with Ari as well. Ari's going to have to take the low line through here. Peter Sabot watches. That was very intense. 3 wide out of turn 1. Where do you see that? Nowhere else. You're getting the best of the best of racing here in Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. And Eamon, look at this. 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, all within a battle with each other. And you also see just in the back, that's Kasper Tezayaki also trying to fight his way to get back up in this fight. Now Eamon, surprise dive. Is it enough to go to the inside? Mike shuts the door on him. And now, swinging around, left-hander. Meanwhile, keep an eye out for Peter Sabot. This nose-to-tail battle, this next front straight could cause trouble. We could very much see an incident go down here and controversy. I don't want to call it out. Eamon looked to the inside for the moment. No space to be done. Ari, just that bit closer. On the rear cam of Mike Van Doren, realizing realizing, what do I have to do to shake these guys off my tail? The slipstream now is going to be in the power of Eamon. So what does Eamon do this time by? Racing to the line here. They start off the 7th lap of this one. Eamon looking to the inside. Mike defends. Eamon goes for the regular line into T1. Peter Sabot goes way too deep, almost running into contact of Kasper Tezayaki. And luckily, nothing happens between them. Those positions stay the same. Eamon went for a move. Eamon touches the curb a little too much. Sends his car a little bit wide. Loses that momentum against Mike Van Doorn. Ari now with a big chance of trying to get back. What can she do? Side by side through the lefts and rights, flat out through here. It's gonna be the move done for Ari. P5 for her. Eamon Asseir, another mistake, relegating him back down a position, and now he's gonna have to work his way back up another position to try to get this move back going and done here. What can he do as we now see them cross through the trees? Now Eamon to the inside. No contact was made. Ari just went a little too wide. Peter Sabot, will he be thinking about following up through this battle? Not quite. Losing out momentum. He'll have Kasper Tezayaki for company. Eamon leaving the door open. Ari has a nose up the inside. It's not quite enough to make the move stick. They're gonna back off, and now Ari has to try another way to get past Eamon Asseir for 5th position. This has now turned into a 5-car battle for P4. The top 3, you already see them on the delta there on the top left. They're about a second apart between each other. So we don't have to look at them for the time being. I mean, who wants to? This is where the racing's at. You're not going to get better racing quite like this, only here in Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. As we watch them just past the paddock building that costs over a fortune to even lay a finger in there, as they now head around turn 1. Into turn 2 now. Eamon Asseir able to shake off Ari for the time being. Ari now may have to start focusing on Peter Sabot behind, a little bit of pressure. Remember, pit stops still need to be made in this one. It just depends when they're going to pull it off. Here comes Eamon. Big chance out of position. To the inside. No room. It's going to be an awkward line, but look at Van Doorn. A little bit of a wiggle there. Just not confident on the loud pedal. Bump here. And they're going to really pack up through here. Eamon very close in the rear end. Looks to the wide angle here. Trying to go around the long way to make it the inside for this next corner. Van Doorn sees it. Tries to squeeze him as much as he can. It's caught Mike by surprise. Eamon has got it. Has he? A little slide. They're going to go neck and neck, where Van Doorn is going to have the line here. Keep an eye on Ari for this next part of the track. Huge drama here, side by side. Eamon not able to hold on, or can he? Just about able to not lose any more time or position. It was a very good move, but the inside line just better for Mike Van Doorn. And now all of them nose to tail together. I'm not too sure where Tezayaki is. I think he's just fallen back a bit here. But now on the front straight, this is Eamon's best opportunity to get Mike in a cleaner fashion now with less stress. Mike Van Doorn knows that. He defends the inside. Eamon's gonna dive it down the inside. And ladies and gentlemen, that's a great move, but it's a little too much heat. That's a little bit of contact on corner exit. And he's got to watch for Ari now to put a move down his inside. Does not do so. Looking at the front camera. Does he dive it down the inside? Losing patience now. Wanting to get this move done. Ari looking at the wide angle. A little bit of contact is made between them. Oh, it's contact. It's huge drama. Does Mike save it? He does. It's contact. All three of them. It's Mike who gets the worst end of the stick. It's a hard crash. It's a hard crash for Mike Van Doorn. And that is the absolute drama here. It comes down to that. I was about to compliment Eamon because it was a dive down the inside, and the last time we saw a beautiful dive to make it almost work for position. You got to look back at the Miami Grand Prix and GT4 Caribbean Championship. We're down to 3. Van Doorn has been taken out the equation. Oh man, that truly sucks. I don't know what happened. We saw Van Doorn run off the circuit. Was it because of the contact of Eamon? Was it not? Was it lag? Watching him at the stream replay. Was it Mike that turned his nose there, trying to get back the line? And Eamon looked like he kind of phased through the rear end, that like he was trying to like turn in, and it was a very messy one. So it'll be reviewed at the end of the race, and we have no word what went down or what went wrong. Meanwhile, Daniel Santos having a great race out here, even though it's a bit lonely. It's 1.3 seconds in the lead, and it's exactly what he wants. Now, Ari, her day is not quite over yet, as now Peter Sabot takes it down the inside, drifts it up. No contact is made. Ari, that line helping her big time. And I think Ari is actually just one of the best drivers to get that high line consistently working. A lot of drivers mixing and matching, but Ari's just committing to that high line, knowing in herself that that is the line that you need to take, no matter, even if the inside is open, even if the door is open, just keep holding on to the high line. It will pay off. So far, with Ari in P5 with a chance of 4th up the road, it's working out for her brilliantly. And Peter Sabot, P6, not going to lose this battle out, going to keep pressuring on. We did have word Danny Nasseir. I think he's just made contact on the exit of a corner there, just tapping the wall. And Van Doorn, he's taking it into the pits. So that's a first pit stop made there for Mike Van Doorn, and he's going to set himself off for the end of this race. It's just one mandatory pit stop. I don't think those timing boards are working properly. There's your tire age. I think that's basically correct there for the moment there. Unfortunately, I don't think our timing board is actually showing the correct information. So just to keep you up to pace here, with that Mike Van Doorn pit stop, it also is saying, well, we'll try to find out in the pit stop story in just a moment for you. But regardless, though, still a fantastic race. Now, a little bit of gap has opened up here for Peter and Ari, but it's not anything to stress over. That's for sure. So as I head into turn 1 now, there you see Lima chasing down Evan Steinberg for the top 10. They're a bit far behind the pack here. But not to worry, it's still a long race here. We have 25 minutes left to go, just enough time. They also have to do pit stops here. Actually, we just lost Evan. He's touched the wall. He's got some damage on his car now. And that's going to split a little bit of drama for him. We also have word that Ilham also made a pit stop. And we're also getting interesting word now. I can't confirm it, but on our timing board, it says Eamon made a pit stop. I cannot confirm that because I don't think he did, but again, I'm not going to leave that up to me, and we're going to look at that after the race if he did. Regardless, though, still a terrific start here in this one. Huge drama at the beginning. Mike Van Doorn being taken out. We got to imagine what went wrong for him, and now more pit stops are being made because Sven comes in from P2, makes his mandatory pit stop here, and he's going to get shuffled all the way down the rear of this pack. You're also going to see the rest of the pack going through, even lapped as well, it looks like, or maybe not. Regardless, though, still open season for these guys. So 24 minutes left to go here in this Dutch Grand Prix. Next week out, we head on over to Mexico City for the Mexican Grand Prix. That is a race you cannot miss out whatsoever. That's Formula 3 open wheel racing, and if you love the action here, you're going to get even more drivers coming up for that one. And Steinberg now comes in for a pit stop. Sven has been let loose now, and it's game on to get back up to the top. And so we continue this one. We also see here, what's those gaps looking like? We're waiting for Santos to come in. That's going to be a pit stop to watch out for. And we're going to see how Andy Park is going to respond to it. They're both basically racing for this win. So we're going to find out how the tides are going to turn out here for those top drivers here. And Santos is actually going to answer our question. He comes into the pits. Hopefully it's not speeding. And he gets it in there beautifully. So no drivers making any errors there. So, underway here, pit stop being made, and we can now confirm to you your pit stop drivers so far who are on track. That goes to Layla, Daniel, Sven, Ilham, Mike, and Evan. Those are your drivers who have come into the pits so far. So still open season for everyone else yet to come in to the box. It's let out now. Andy Park, the lead of this Dutch Grand Prix, and he's going to be focusing on good lap times on the board. Andy's last time was a 1:41.068. For Santos, it was a 1:40.7. So Andy's going to have a bit of work to do to try to get back and going. And wants to get a good time here on the board to try to get some better momentum here. Danny Nasseir comes in for his pit stop. We have Peter Sabot now under a second once again. And this will be interesting if they both enter the pits at the same time. We're going to have a fun fight to see what goes down there. But on board with Peter Sabot. 8/10 the difference. And the drivers already have 11 minutes left to go in this pit window. They need to come in ASAP, or else they will be disqualified for not making it in the pit box in the allocated time. Look at the time that Sabot just made throughout there. And now, here we go. Big chance. Andy Park also coming in for his mandatory stop. Peter Sabot dives it in. Here we go. Cannot be caught out for speeding. It's very hot coming in. Luckily, though, it's a great entry, and it's going to be game on. So that's somebody we're going to have to look out for in this fight here. Park should be coming out the pits very soon. Where is Daniel Santos? Around the final corner, and he's got Sven for company. And Sven, here we go, big fight here. And Sven also had made a pit stop, so this is actually your battle for the race lead here. And you look at the pit entry and pit exit here. There is Andy Park, but Santos trying to muscle his way through. Sven, as he crosses over, I think that's the lead of the race. That should be the lead of the race. I'm just wanting to double check. Yes, he has made a pit stop. Sven is your new race leader at the Dutch Grand Prix. Did something go wrong for Santos on the outlap? I'm not too sure, but it's game on here for the race win. 10 minutes left to go for the pits. 19 minutes and 20 minutes left to go for the race. Here we go. The more they fight, the more it's going to allow Andy Park in this one. Here we go. This is what we're excited about now. That must have been an incredible run for Sven. And he also has the fastest lap of the race. Just ahead. So, no stranger. No stranger to being quick. But now Santos, as he loses out the lead of this race. Of course, once those pit stops go through. Incredible racing here. So Sven, defending on out here between himself, and we also have Andy Park. My apologies there. Andy Park just following behind. Just trying to watch both of our timing screens here to watch these drivers come around into turn one, and looking pretty confident. Sven is looking great out there. And, well, this is such an interesting race that's gone down here. And there you see Eamon, who's still holding on to the overall lead of this race. yet to make a pit stop. In fact, the top 4 yet to come in, and in fact, that battle between Peter Sabot and Ari is kind of already done and dusted, because on the pit exit, we didn't see it live, but Peter Sabot just miles away, the faster driver on the opening stint coming back on. So the undercut working for Peter Sabot, and Ari's gonna have to do some work to get right back on it and get going. So lots of time left to go here, and Daniel Santos is all over the rear of Verstappen. Speaking of which, Eamon from the lead comes in to make his pit stop. And we also have Riga Milana also coming in, so it's going to start to shuffle up those top drivers up to the front. Here we go now. Daniel Santos, is there an opportunity to go for the lead of Sven here, as they all pass through the drivers who are in the pits? And they just got 3 cars ahead of them. Here we go to the right-hander now. And then high line here for Daniel Santos. Big opportunity. They starting to close up, but just through that first sector, just losing a bit of time. So, bit of struggle there. Regardless, though, still holding on, still keeping it as quick as possible. Trying to get through here, but that second sector looking a bit quick here. We're actually going to get confirmation. So the first sector, 43.1 for Santos, 42.9 for Sven, 42.9 as well for Andy, and that's Andy Park's best first sector. Now second sector, purple for Daniel Santos. 26.388 against a 26.5 for Sven and a 26.4 for Andy Park. Andy gonna go for a personal best, but it's Daniel Santos who's tuned up the band. And he's going for the full shot. Here we go. Big opportunity now. And as I head into T1. And we're getting word in the paddock pen, Amelia had to retire out, and we also had Torres. He's got to stop. I'm not too sure if he is stopping on the circuit. Maybe we can find a part for him. We'll visit him in just a moment. Not too sure what's going on with him. So here we go. On board with Daniel Santos. Lima just taking it to the pit, so another driver going into the pits, getting a stop going. And now, here we go. Santos, big opportunity here. Getting this move, maybe, maybe not. And down on the inside. Nowhere, nothing to be done. Continuing. Now, Santos this time by. It's a 46.6 from Sven, 26.4 from Sven, and a 26.5 from Santos. So this time out, Santos just struggling a little bit backwards now. Meanwhile, we also have this fight going on back here between Mike Van Doorn and Nilheim, and it's a shame that Van Doorn has gone fully backwards in this one after that incident. Of course, will be reviewed, and we want to know what went down equally just as much to that one. So, as soon as the pit window closes, that is when we're going to have confirmation of what the final order is looking like. I'm seeing Layla now. I just want to make note of it. I'm not too sure if it's our timing board, but we're getting word that Layla made a pit stop already 12 laps ago. I'm not quite sure if she's ahead, but I don't think so. I'm pretty sure she pit behind the front pack. So I'm not too sure, but we're going to keep an eye on Layla if that's a timing board mishap or if she is actually in P2, which once Torres makes that mandatory pit stop, as they actually almost go 3 wide there. That's your race leader, Torres, still yet to make a pit stop. So he's got a bit of blue flags to get through, and it's his first time leading this race, leading any CMRC race. So I think he's just wanting to get some fresh air and have some fun out there. Yeah, obviously, they're going to have the blue flags up ahead, but if Ilham and Mike Van Toorn can equally pull away, then they don't got to worry. It's such an interesting dynamic here, as Ilham now trying to get the best of Van Doorn this time. 2 minutes, 20 seconds left to go. And through that slow section there, trying to go through. And now flick it to the left-hander. Now, any chance, any opportunity at a move this time by. You also have Andy Park now under a second. As, Ilham looked to the inside. He saw a move. But unfortunately not able to get that one done and dusted. Oh, and Mike, though, he touches the gravel. Big opportunity for a move. Onto the front straight now. 11 minutes, 25 seconds left to go. And he pulls out to the inside. It's not enough space. Has to back off. We look at the rear cam now of Mike Van Doorn. Very, very hot battle out here. As Torres now coming in with a minute left to go. And as for Layla, does she come in this time by after now leading this race, not holding on to the lead before? And no. So is that confirmed that Layla has already made a pit stop? If that's the case, that's absolutely huge. Now, I honestly have no idea. We'll watch back and we'll see if the pit stop was made, but our internals are telling us that Layla made a pit stop. The server's telling us Layla made a pit stop 14 laps ago. Was it within that pit window? I mean, I'm not too sure, but if that's the case, how in the world has Layla got herself in the lead of this Grand Prix? Maybe she's asking the same thing. Regardless, though, pits are now closed. Every driver on our side is telling us that they've made a pit stop. Layla, Miss Midnight Bloom, is leading the Grand Prix. Again, I don't know if she made a pit stop before, but it's telling us that a pit stop was made. This is absolutely huge. I saw that pit stop was made 14 laps ago. I didn't see it live, so I'm not too sure if she made the pit stop within the window. Regardless, though, that is absolutely iconic if that's the case. I don't know. I truly do not know. Regardless, though, if she does come to the line P1, that's going to be the greatest strategy ever, and all flowers are going to go to her. Again, I have no idea if she came into the pits, but we still have a race to go. We'll find out very soon if Layla is actually in the lead of this Grand Prix. Well, I don't know. I truly have no idea. And we're going to constantly try to figure this out as this race goes on. But Andy Park, meanwhile, has an opportunity to go for P3 now. On sight. Into turn one. Nothing can be done this time by. Now the second part here, the bankings, here we go. Wide angle going up, Andy Park. Big chance here. At this position, any opportunity? Into the downhill right-hander. Nothing can be done. Not this time by, at least. This is your closest battle we have for the higher positions here for P4. We also have, I think, just dancing around under a second, Christian Ramau against Ari. But this is your battle for third right now. So anything and everything could go down here. What will happen? 8/10 the difference. A real battle to the very end. Right now, though, it's Sven who leads this one off here and will take the maximum playoff points. Well, what an interesting race. Here we go. Big chance now. Andy Park. Do you go for the move? It's 2/10 now, the difference. No commitment. Santos defends the inside. Park is going to go to the outside. Can Andy pull the switch? Not quite. Not this time by. But now to the right-hander. Now left-hander. High line for Park. It's actually gotten a better momentum here. This could be an even better chance for Andy Park to go for a move, to go to the inside or the outside. Pick your poison if you do go for the move. No, backs off. Trying to put as much pressure down. And, well, I have a revelation for you that we're going to pick up in just a moment. But meanwhile, I can tell you this one right now. Layla made her pit stop under the pit window. I can confirm that now. But that gap of the race lead is going down. She made the pit stop 25 minutes with 35 minutes left to go in the race, 25 minutes left to go in the pits. Layla has already made her pit stop. And she was able to nail through the order, but like you got to imagine, was it the tire change that was made or not? I don't know. Regardless, we'll still interview her because she deserves that top spot if she's gonna finish P1, and it'll be reviewed after the race what goes down here. But regardless, what a race this is turning out to be now with Andy Park up front here, P3 now against Daniel Santos. Wow, holy, what a race this is. What a fight. What hard racing. What is this leaderboard? We're asking the same thing, but you gotta give credit where credit is due. Layla made the pit stop within the pit window. And Layla's now leading this Grand Prix after a strategy call that puts her on top. Oh, there's trouble. P14 off the circuit there. Leaders are coming up soon. And that is Danny Nasseir, but Layla's coming up fast. Now Layla's lead to this Dutch Grand Prix is ticking down by the lap. Layla's last lap. 42.9, Sven, 41.0. Game on, Layla. You made the pit stop earlier. Yellow flags was there momentarily. Any driver off? No. Here we go. Battle on. We also have Christian Ramau and Ari. We'll talk to Layla after this one if she can get it on the podium. But I can confirm to you now, at least from our timing board, Layla made a pit stop. And that is going to go down the history books as one of the greatest strategy calls I've ever seen. To go from basically last to first, I don't know how you do it, but she did it. And we'll talk to her after this race. But let's focus on now of the action that's going on here. And that battle right now you're looking at here. Christian Ramau chasing down Ari. Meanwhile, Sven has put down the gap to 2.3 seconds with 3 minutes and 18 seconds left to go. No extra lap needed. We're racing to the very end. What do we have? Like 2 laps to go? I'm not too sure. But Sven is in hunting season. He's weapon hunting season. And Layla wants to get the hell out of here. Wants that timer to go even faster. And now it all lies down to this, a little bit wide on corner exit there. This is an absolute fight here for this race win. Layla wanting to get a second race win in CMRSC at Race of Champions in GT4. But it's getting harder and harder, not by the lap, but by the sector, because a chunk of time constantly goes down. We should be at the 2 to go by the line here, and the gap is under a second. Sven, full-on hunting season, and it cannot get closer than this. You gotta wonder, maybe setup, because that Aston Martin behind, it's identical cars, so it's setup that makes the difference. Look at Sven flying here. Layla is just defending the inside and praying that this race can just finish once and for all. Into one, she goes way too deep. She took the narrow line, and Sven Versteeg takes the lead of the Dutch Grand Prix right at home. The home race lead now for Sven. Finally back to the lead of this Grand Prix. Is Layla gonna fight back? We don't know. It's pretty close, but it looks like she's running a setup that's just not optimized for top speed and those straights, because she's just losing time on those straights. You see, there's 7/10s automatically opened up, and they barely made any corners. Now for Layla, next up, it's Andy Park and Daniel Santos. If Andy's held up, Santos is back in this. Chad saying, fight for your life, Layla. Indeed. No matter where Layla finishes, as long as she's not taken out and she finishes where she basically is right now, absolutely huge. You gotta imagine, is Andy Park gonna play for the team and give Layla this reward of P2 and hold up Santos? That would be a very brave thing to do, especially in a championship fight this early on when P2 is free right there. Let's see it now. Is the team game gonna take effect, or is Layla gonna let through Andy Park, knowing that that's the teammate, that's the faster car, even though there's no teams in this championship? 25 seconds left to go. Final lap for this Dutch Grand Prix that's been nothing but pure entertainment. When the chaos happened, it was the drama point absolute high between Mike Van Doorn, between Mike, Ari, and Eamon that will be looked at after the race. But right now, we are looking at an absolute masterclass of the top drivers and a pure underdog of Layla, Miss Midnight Bloom, to the top. And now Andy Park finding his teammate. And it all comes down to this. Does Layla defend on the inside? No, backs off. It's side by side, but lets Andy Park through. Layla realizing this is your race, not mine, but maybe is gonna want to hold up Daniel Santos, and she's got half a lap to go if she's gonna do that. Meanwhile, there's your race leader, who's just coming around the final couple of corners, has Danny Nasseir just ahead. Meanwhile, Daniel Santos is gonna want to get the move, and Layla is gonna go very wide off the circuit, and it's not gonna work out. And get shuffled down. Here comes Sven around the final couple of corners now. It's gotta be oh so sweet to do it here, not just at Zandvoort, but home. He'll take the maximum points in both the overall standings and the Race of Champions playoffs, and the best boost he needs to the top as he heads to the checkered flag now. Sven Versteeg wins at Zandvoort. The Dutch Grand Prix goes to him, with Andy Park in second, Santos in third. Layla will pop the champagne bottles for P4, put her on the podium as well. Eamon Nasseir will come around the line to finish P5. Peter Zabot with a hard-fought battle between himself and Ari will finish 6th. And speaking of Ari, will finish P7 just ahead of the charging Christian Ramau, who will now finish P8. Regan Milana will come around the high banks to finish P9. 10th will go to Casper. 11th will go to Mike Van Dorn. 12th to Ilham Lesmana. 13th to Evan Steinberg. 14th to Lima. And last but not least, Danny Nasseir, P15. And Torres, who's celebrating by taking this car into the barrier there, P16. But that's your race complete. And what a way to kick off Race of Champions 2025. Holy, unfortunately, we're not going to get a podium celebration. That's a bit unfortunate there. But look at that. That's a sight. That is a sight. And Andy is giving his flowers to Layla, who's pulled off an almighty strategy. Holy moly. What a race. Let's go talk to our top drivers here. All right. What a race. Pure action there. Coming to the very end. And we're going to talk to our top 3 right now. Starting off with our race winner. Sven, let's put you up on the board here. And a race win at home. That's got to feel absolutely amazing. You take victory here at Zandvoort. How does that feel?
Well, pretty good, I must say. Didn't really expect it.
Well, take us through that one. That race was very tight, especially battling Daniel for the race win earlier on, or for the race lead, I should say. Take us through that battle. How was that between yourself and Daniel? And as well, you can't forget about Andy Park, who was in that one too.
Yeah, it was a fun battle. It was really about the tactics. So when do you pit? And try to get as fast of a pit stop as you can get. And yeah, for the rest, it went clean from my end, at least I feel like.
And then, of course, we kind of shuffle through after that pit stop sequence. What made the difference on that outlap for you? Did you feel like, did you see anything with Daniel and what went wrong with him, if there was a slow pit exit, or in general, what was the difference that made that pass for that position between yourself and Daniel Santos?
Well, I would honestly just thought, okay, I'm very close to him. He's probably on his nerves now as I'm close. So let's just try to push him to his max. And yeah, it turned out really well.
Well, P1 for you. And not just that, you're both leading the overall standings and the playoff standings heading into the future rounds. How's the confidence feeling now knowing you're at the top so far?
Well, not that high, to be honest. I'm not that great in some of the other cars in the series, so I don't think I will win the other races.
Well, let's see what you can do. You've already got the lead now, so it's all about consistency at this point. Congratulations for you. That race win.
Thank you.
And now we head on over to the driver who finishes in second position. Up here. And of course, we're talking about just a moment here, just bringing that. There we go. So, do we have a mic here for Andy Park?
We do.
Yeah.
Hello.
Getting back on the podium, P2 this time. That's got to feel simply lovely.
Absolutely. In the beginning, the qualified performance maybe be a bit optimistic. I thought I could win it, but the top guys were just at another level. So it took me a few seconds to readjust, and I was gonna be like, okay, I'll settle for P3, honestly. But as I was chasing Daniel, as I was P2 and I saw Daniel behind me, I thought since Daniel was going faster, wait. Daniel was in front of me and Sven was behind me, I think. Is he called Sven? Did I get the name right?
Yes.
Yeah, Sven. I knew he was going faster than me, so my best bet would be, okay, I'm gonna let him through in turn 2, so he can face a fist fight with the race leader, and maybe I can pick up scraps. It didn't really work in my favor, but I still ended up back in P2, so I'm happy. For the team as well. Incredible result. P2 and P4.
Absolute strong effort, and we got to look at that battle at the end between yourself and Daniel. That was an amazing fight, back and forth, but you're able to get the move done. Tell me, what was that one like for you?
I don't remember getting any moves done. I just overtook him when he got on the gravel, so... Well, I mean, what, you're talking about the first stage of the race, right?
We're talking about towards the end of this one.
I don't remember any battling towards the end of the race.
All right, well, let's go back to the beginning. Let's refresh your memory then. So yeah, take us through that specific battle then, yeah.
Yeah. But it wasn't much because I let Sven through, and then I could just not catch them up, and I just saw them pull away, and I was like, yeah, I'll just keep my pace, and if Van Dorn doesn't pull out an absolute miracle, then I should be fine. But I got myself in the position where I could pick up the mistakes that the others made. As my mentor once said, I need to get myself into the place to capitalize, and thankfully I managed to do just that, so I'm grateful, I'm happy.
Congratulations, massive points on the board, and even though you're not in our playoffs, you could still win the overall championship, and I believe
Absolutely.
That's what you're trying to go for, right?
Absolutely. So that's why I settled so easily for second place, because my strong point is open wheelers. So I hope that will go well. I just have to thank Layla. You're an absolute godsend. She dropped back to defend me from Daniel, and even though it was short lasted, I could see the effort, and I so appreciate it. Like, genuinely.
Congratulations, well deserved P2, and let's see what you can do throughout this momentum in this championship.
Take care, brothers. It's been a pleasure.
And then we finish off with P3 here. Do we have P3? Yes, we do. We just got him back in here. Daniel Santos taking here the rear end of the podium here, but still P3, a strong P3, and a really hard battle. Nobody was leaving you alone when there were cars nearby. It was just pure drama to try to keep up. You finished third, though. It's still a good third position for us, but take us through your feelings. How was that one for you?
Well, the pole lap was pretty incredible on my end. Honestly, I was expecting a 0.7 or 0.6, and somehow a 0.4 came. So I was pretty surprised by that. First stint was very strong, skipping Sven within a second, and yeah, overall first stint was pretty good. Then I pitted, started zoning out a little, my vision got a little blurry, started making mistakes. And yeah, Sven got past me after a little rubbing, I guess you could say, in the mid straight. I don't know if he didn't have room or what it was. Still, pretty fun, yeah. Another mistake costed me P2, it is what it is. But yeah, still part of it.
Still a hard-fought battle. I believe next week out you said you might not be able to join us, so it's going to go on to your drop score. But P3 here, but it's P2 in the playoff standings. How's that feeling going into the future rounds for you?
I honestly don't know. I'm missing a round anyways. I don't know if there's drop score for that. I don't think there is. So at the end, it's not gonna matter. So it's a good P2, and to be honest, I fought pretty hard for it. If I had my first stint, then yeah, on the second time, I think I would have easily won. But yeah, it is what it is.
Strong effort nonetheless, Daniel. Congratulations, finishing P3 on the board, and good points to swing your momentum to the beginning of this championship.
Yeah, thank you.
That's going to do it there for the first round. We're going to get the server up for round 2. Mexico City, the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, the F1 Mexican Grand Prix, and Formula 3 machines. Should be a very fun one to go through. We'll have that session up in a moment. But thank you so much for racing with us in this first one. We'll definitely have a bit more people. I think we started off racing today with 17, so can't wait to see. Hopefully we can see all your faces back for next week, and a great race here. Highly recommend you check out the stream. Pure entertainment. But we hope to see you next week out for round 2, the Mexican Grand Prix. And so everyone at home, thank you so much for tuning in to today's race. Again, pure action throughout that one, and a bit of drama to mix in. Don't we just love it here? Next week, of course, as you heard, Mexico City. Formula 3. Then we get to Porsche Cup and the Bahrain Outer Circuit in TCR. And then Phillip Island for the Australian Grand Prix GT3. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place.